My heart literally broke. Ooh. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Amani Rakia be the middle name. It is January 1st, 2022. On December 31st of 2021, around, I wanna say maybe 11:30 at night, I decided to sign up and create a Notion account so that way I can be a bit more organized and just thorough with my New Year's planning, intention setting, and just keeping track of things. I downloaded some New Year's templates that were available on Notion for me to use to help just help me guide and set my intentions and things like that. On one of the templates for each of the months, it allowed you to insert a theme. That theme that I set for January, I'm going to consider this to be a month of rebuilding. Rebuilding is my word for this first month in this new year, because I feel like there is a lot of transitions that are literally about to happen. First and foremost, I'm about to move into my new apartment on January 9th. So this whole first week and a half of this new year is really going to be about me just like cleansing, decluttering, detoxing, and just freeing myself of so much baggage and weight, literally and physically. I'm going to be letting go a lot of just like clothes and items that I feel like I've hoarded and that I just no longer wear and things like that, and just other winter cleaning things. And so I just sat with the word rebuilding for a lot longer as I was in Notion ahead of the new year. And I was just like, yeah, I really see myself wanting to like rebuild these routines that I started to cultivate for myself. Some of those things look like less doom scrolling, rebuilding just like my whole mindset and thoughts when it comes to my dating life. I know that was the last thing that I was talking about in my last video, about wanting to better my overall just like dating experience. So one of those objectives or goals that I have for myself as it regards to rebuilding and dating is to just like be more open and allowing myself to just like actively date without all these preconceived notions on like what I'm looking for and things like that. So another one of the objectives and goals that I had on my Notion account in terms of my theme of rebuilding is really sharpening my skills when it comes to content creation and things like that. I definitely want to level up my content this year. So I'm definitely going to be allowing myself to dedicate some more time to just like relearning some things that I thought I knew just like a while ago, just like how to make really cool and like eye-catching like YouTube video thumbnails. Also testing and trying out new filming like angles and techniques and things like that when I create my content for social media, whether it's IG Reels or it's TikTok or things like that. So yeah, between actively dating, sharpening my video editing and filming skills, and less doom scrolling and just various other objectives and goals, I feel like all of those really did fit under this theme of rebuilding for me. So I really just wanted to put that out there, just like in terms of just like context to what this video was really about. So like I said, today is January 1st of 2022, and this morning I felt really inspired to just get up and create some content and just post an IG reel just like as a start of, you know, the new year. As I began to edit my video, I got a text from my mom. And the text from my mom was very, very lengthy, and a lot of what she was saying was pretty much her acknowledging and apologizing for a lot of her faults, for the things that she has done in my early childhood and my teenage years. As I was reading her text, so many emotions came up for me. Some of those emotions were sadness, guilt, fear, and anger. those were the key emotions that came up for me. And I had to sit with it a little bit longer and really try to unpack each of those emotions and why I felt all of them. The biggest emotion that really hit me the hardest, and as I was just like journaling a little bit, the word that stuck out to me most was guilt. Before I can even go further into like unpacking these feelings, I feel like I also need to give you guys some context on the history and the relationship between me and my mom. I definitely have contemplated like going back and forth between whether or not like this is something that I want to share. I want to preface this video by affirming my decision and just like, yes, I do want to film this video. So on Instagram, like, you know how everyone has like their close friends story list. And so on my close friends, I shared a little bit of the emotions that came up for me. And then one of my really good friends responded to me and shared her experience with her dad and things like that. And just hearing the fact that she was able to experience true freedom and healing for herself just made me break down crying, because I really feel like that is definitely just like the space in which I want to be in. I'm already getting emotional. So again, I want to preface this video in standing firm in my decision to want to come on here and talk about my history and my relationship with my mom, because I know that if me just hearing one other person's experience made me break down crying and made me want to actually like do the work that needs to be done, I can only imagine how what I'm about to share with you guys can actually really like help somebody and like ultimately like change their damn life. I just want to share my experience. I'm all about authenticity and vulnerability, and I feel like me just coming on camera and just expressing my initial thoughts is just the best way to help me kind of just feel more lighter and freer. So here goes nothing. I want to first talk about the relationship and the history between my mom and I. So as you guys know, I was born in Albany, New York, upstate. And around the age of 6 or 7, I moved to Connecticut with my dad. And so I'm not gonna go into like all the freaking details, but I'm going to share enough that I'm comfortable with. The reason why I ended up leaving my mom at the age of 6 or 7 years old and decided to move with my dad, I just, you know, remember conversations that her and I have had in my teenage years. And, you know, she just kind of reassured me that the reason why she really wanted me to move with my dad was to have a better life. And I vividly remember, just to this day, being in the courtroom. I think I was wearing like a white t-shirt, some blue jeans, bobos and barrettes in my hair, and I had this this Blue Cross body bag with like a rainbow print on it or something. And I remember being in the courtroom. I forgot the person's name, but I remember their name being written on their door. They asked me to come to the room, and they simply asked me, do you want to live with your mom, or do you want to go live with your dad? And me at the age of 6 or 7 years old, it's like, well, I've been living with my mom all this time. Like, why not go live with my dad and just like explore something new, you know? And so I said to this person that I wanted to go and live with my dad. And I think that that was ultimately just like how it all worked out. I don't remember the whole like legal process and just like how everything like panned out after that. I just remember being that young, saying I wanted to live with my dad, and the next thing you know, I pack up my bags and I'm off to go visiting my dad more, and now I'm living with my dad. And so from that point, you know, time goes on. I start elementary school, new school, things like that. Things are flowing. And just throughout this time, you know, I'm still thinking that like, okay, I'm gonna see my mom still, and like, we're gonna, you know, life's gonna be cool. It doesn't matter where I live, like, I'll be fine, you know? I got to a point where I would go and visit my mom for the summers, or like just spend good chunks of time like with my mom, whether it was like summer vacation, winter break, or whatever the case may be. So it would pretty much be like a trade-off, like kind of just like going back and forth, like being, you know, with my dad during the school year, and then the summertime going to spend time with my mom. And so then it got to a point where I would go on like some weekends. It was turned into kind of like weekend things. And so I remember just like, there would be numerous times where it would be my weekend to go and see my mom. And I would call her and things like that, and she just wouldn't pick up, or she would make these promises saying like, I can't wait to see you, I'm gonna see you, I'm coming to see you, I'm coming to get you, I'm coming to get you. And then I would like call her, and then she'd be like, oh, like I can't come because of work or whatever reason. And it literally turned into that happening one time, and then it happened again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Through each of those times that happened to me, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. I felt like my heart literally broke. Time after time after time. Ooh. Time after time after time, I literally felt like my heart just continued to shatter and break into a million pieces. You know, and at the age of 6, 7, 8 years old, now going into 10, 11, 12, I had to learn at such a young age what it felt like to have to shove pain to the back of my mind and still try to figure out like, how do I continue to move throughout life and enjoy my childhood years and enjoy hanging out with friends and being around like my friends' parents and seeing the relationship that they're having. Like, I had to learn at such a young age how to try and detach myself from not only from someone who I felt like was supposed to be my very first best friend, but also how to detach myself from very strong and urgent feelings that were coming up for me. A lot of that happened for about maybe 3 or 4 years. And obviously over time, you know, when you're so used to something happening, you become numb. You become so numb to it that when the opportunity presents itself for my mom to follow up or show up, it's just like, you know what, no. I'm not even, no, it's okay. I'm busy, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm fine. Like, you know, I'll get around to it, you know, because I felt like I had to do so much work within those 3 and 4 years to building my guard and like putting up a wall to protect my heart. Because at such a young age, it was broken. So I felt like I had to be that rock. I had to be that solid, like, for myself. And I'm not even gonna lie, like, having to do that at a young age, it triggers you and it scars you just moving forward through life and literally all of your relationships that you have with the people that are close to you, because you know what it's like for someone so near and dear and close to you to literally break your heart. Hold on, I need some water, y'all. Okay, so throughout all this time, you know, I'm living with my dad. He meets someone new, and I start to develop a relationship with this new woman who is now my stepmom, who has just been like my OG, like ride or die, just really just like through and through. To kind of backtrack in some of the history of the relationship between me and my stepmom, you know, while simultaneously dealing with this broken heart and this pain from my mom, someone who I consider to be so close to me, like, it literally made me resent my stepmom. It really made me feel, I felt like for so long, I just couldn't understand why it was that the woman who gave birth to me just literally like couldn't step up to the plate and do what she needed to do, or show her true love and care for me. Like, I owe her years and years and years of apologies for the pain that I have caused her. You know how they say like hurt people hurt people? I was that hurt person hurting my stepmom because of the pain that was inflicted upon me from my mom. And so yeah, I just feel like I needed to mention that, because like it wasn't just me and my dad just like rocking out up until now. Like, you know, my stepmom was also in the picture. She has 2 kids, my brothers. My mom also has 3 other kids, like my 3 brothers. I really feel like the strained relationship between me and my mom literally has strained my relationship with damn near every single person that it could be as close to me as possible. My 3 blood brothers, my relationship is hella strained with them. My 2 step brothers, I feel like our relationship could be a lot better, but I felt like just growing, you know, through all of what I experienced with my mom, like, it was a lot. It was a lot for me to figure out, again, like I said, how to like interact and just like how to, you know, mask or put a facade on and like I'm not hurt and shit just doesn't bother me, to still be the best like sister that I could, to be the best like stepdaughter that I could, to be the best like a daughter that I could, you know? So it definitely like hurts a lot, because I felt like I am so big on respecting and valuing and honoring my time. And I feel like so much of my time throughout my years have like low-key been wasted on mourning and grieving the loss of the relationship that I feel like was supposed to be one of the most like nurturing and nourishing relationships that I was supposed to have in my life. It literally could only take just for you to have traumatic and triggering experiences with one person in your family, and it could literally like fuck shit up for like so many other people in your life. Aside from like, you know, my brothers on both sides, it's like I have cousins and aunts and uncles and people that like I just decided to close off, especially on my mom's side. I just kind of felt like, well, I don't have a relationship with her, so like I don't even want to deal with anything that reminds me of her, that reminds me of my childhood, that reminds me of home, because like it really hurt that bad. And it still hurts to this day, obviously, because I'm like so easily triggered and I get so emotional, just like so easy. Now that I give you guys some context, I feel like now I can go a little bit deeper into just like the feelings that came up for me and why guilt was such a standout feeling and word that came up for me. Also, if I backtrack and give a little bit more context, like to this day, me and my mom, we really don't communicate as well. Like we tried, and I just said, you know what, I feel like this just isn't the kind of relationship that like I want this to be. I want this to be more, but I feel like you're not giving me more, so just fuck it. Like I'm tired of ripping the band-aid off and I'm still like bleeding, and like I'm just like out here with like open wounds and no one's coming to help me. Like I'm tired. Like I'm tired of like ripping off the band-aid, trying to heal it. It's not working, so just fuck it. I'm not doing it anymore. To this day, my mom would text and call me here and there. You know, I'll kind of pick up and respond when I feel like it. And so that's just kind of how like our relationship has been to this present day. I would pick up the phone and I would text her when I feel like it. And so 2 months ago, she sent me some products from her company. And so when I got the products in the mail and I opened her products, that was literally like the first like physical or tangible like item from her. And knowing that she poured so much into her business, it really felt like an extension of her. Like it felt like she was literally just like in my space when I was just like looking at the products, like testing them and feeling them and things like that. And it just made me break down crying, like boo-hoo, because it just made me realize that like, yo, like my mom is like a human being who has real feelings, who's out here in this world, you know, in her 40s, like trying to live out her own dreams. She has her own dreams. She has her own goals. She's ambitious. She's hardworking, like just like me. And I say all this to say is like, it really just made me feel like, yo, like she's a human being, Amani. She has goals and dreams just like you. She's out here doing the same things that like you are going to eventually be doing when you want to start your own business. That really like put a lot into perspective for me. But at that time, like I still couldn't bring myself to be like, all right, I want to fix this. holding her products and just like seeing the love that she just like poured into everything, it just broke me down. It broke me down. And so that's why this feeling of guilt stood out to me like the most, because it's like, even after all of these years of the broken promises from her and me essentially feeling abandoned, like how could I feel guilty? How could I feel shame or as if like I'm doing something wrong? Like, yes, I may not, call her, I may not text her, and I do things on my own time, but it's just really standing out to me that like I could feel guilt, although I don't feel like I have done anything wrong. I think that I also felt guilt because it's like I said, like she's a human being just like you should give her a chance. Another emotion that came up for me was anger. And the anger came from her voicing how hurt she was. And I'm just like, okay, well, you're hurt. Well, what about me and all the years into this day that I have felt hurt? When I was journaling this down, it really struck out to me that like my mom and I, we are literally mirrors to each other. We're literally mirroring a lot of the same emotions and feelings and thoughts. To be honest, when I read her text message, I was like, yeah, like I say the same thing to myself too. Another feeling that came up for me was fear. And this is not fear of being afraid of my mom. This is fear of me, again, like I said, ripping the Band-Aid off and opening up and opening my heart back up to the same woman who broke it. Like I'm afraid to do that. And I feel like with the space that I'm in my life, like living on my own across the country with no immediate family out here, it's like I really feel like I cannot afford to go down another deep, dark hole or get my heart broken or be depressed and fuck up my mental health, because I've been there. I remember the very first time I attempted suicide. And it was just a culmination of just like heartbreak from a boy in high school, but also just like this feeling of like I'm suffocating and I'm yearning for not only the love from this boy at the time, but the love subconsciously from my mom. And I just felt like I was literally drowning, and I felt like I just didn't want to like feel this way anymore. I just feel like I cannot afford to go not even remotely close to any of those thoughts or feelings again. And so I think that's like where the fear is coming from for me. And there also is this level of fear of like, I would so much rather just like turn my back and just run away from all of this and just like live my life as if this shit ain't happening. But it is happening. It's a new year. And because I've been able to numb the pain for so long, it's like it's gotten to the point where like I have kind of forgotten like, yo, this is going on, Amani. Like, yo, you're not talking to your mom. Like, yo, Amani, you out here dating and you saying you want a man who has a close relationship with their family. Hey, yo, Amani, you don't have a close relationship with your mom, so how dare you? How dare you even say you would like to see that in another man? Like, you gotta check yourself first. I've been having a lot of these self-talks and these talks in the mirror and things like that, and I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, it's a new year. My mom sent me this text, I'm like, this must be a sign. Like, let's just do it. I have no idea what the hell this journey looks like to begin. I have thought about it just a little bit, and I feel like I think I want to start just by restarting therapy and talking to my therapist with a lot of these feelings and thoughts that I'm expressing now, and then take it from there, because I really don't want to say the wrong thing to my mom. And I know there is really no right or wrong thing to say, because at the end of the day, these are my most raw and vulnerable emotions. I really want to be able to mend and heal this relationship like the right way. I don't want to go into communicating with her with like all of these like strong emotions and mad or like just say anything like crazy. So I really just want to recenter myself before I respond to her and before I feel like I'm ready to heal this relationship. It has truly been a journey. And yeah, I just feel like this is something that needs to be done, but it's really scary. It's scary, you know? This has been going on for the past maybe 14, 15 years of my life, and I'm just like, shit, like I have to now put myself back in the shoes of where I was in order to heal. To be honest, I really don't want to go back, but I know that that is what needs to be done in order for me to just like to grow, to heal, and like honestly just like be free. I really want to free myself from this pain that I have shoved so deep in my subconscious to the point where like I now consciously think that like I'm okay and I'm healed, but I'm really not. I'm really not, because every time I talk about it, like I said earlier, like it triggers me. And so I just think that maybe it honestly is time, and I don't want to waste any more time just like going through life just not truly feeling free and feeling like there's this subconscious void that just needs to be filled. I don't know, I just feel like part of me is just like not really full because I keep having to run away from this situation or feeling afraid to pick up the phone and just like talk to her, because I know that the more that I talk to her, the more I text her, this means that like we could be establishing something a lot deeper, and I'm just like, I don't really think I want to start or establish anything deeper right now, so I'm gonna just keep this conversation short. It's really just about bossing up. Like a lot of people talk about they want to boss up, they a big boss, but like, are you a big boss with your healing journey? Let's talk about that. You got the money, you securing the bag, sis, but like, how's your mental health? How's your heart space? For real, for real. So that's just kind of like, I guess, where I'm at and like where this is gonna go. And I really feel like this relationship needs to be healed for so many other reasons. The fact that I feel like my mom was supposed to be my very first best friend in life, and that relationship has been strained to the fullest. I feel like I have lost or really have no true meaning of like what sisterhood means and friendship and things like that. And also just like friendships and being a better friend is something that I want to be more intentional about, like within this year. And it's just like, girl, how can you be intentional about wanting to be a better friend and you can't even heal from the relationship or the friendship that like you don't even have with your mom? Time is ticking and you never know what could happen tomorrow. You never know what could happen today. I don't know. I just want to be a better woman for myself, for my friends, for my future partner, for whoever it is just in my life. Woocha! Your girl is gonna heal. I'm gonna heal. I'm gonna be okay, y'all. I just, you know, I'm venting and I'm sharing, you know, what's coming up for me, my journey and my healing journey. Yeah, y'all, I just wanted to come on here and really just share a lot of this process and this journey, because there is not enough discussion around strained mother-daughter relationships as it is with father-daughter relationships. Shout out to my daddy though. Shout out to my daddy, he been a real one. Thank you guys so much for holding space for me and watching this video. I love you guys, and I definitely will continue to update you guys just throughout my journey and my process and just all of who I am growing to be in my 20s. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Mwah.